Tottenham fans, during this international break, it gives you a chance to reflect on the season so far. Yes, there's a lot that's gone wrong this season, and you can go and look on many channels and they will point out every single negative that they can think of, which is fine. If you are Ange out, that's fine. If you've got your own opinion, that's fine. You know, I'm not here to try and argue with the people that have already made up their minds on Ange or Tottenham. Today, I want to talk about what positives have come out of this season. So, there has actually been a few things that have actually come out of this season that have actually been good. You know, I've had to dig deep for this, but I can find some things that have come out that are good, and it will benefit us in the future seasons too, in my opinion. So the first thing that has come good of this season so far is the emergence of the young players. And these are the young players that we signed as well, and there's one that's come through the academy. You can probably name the three that I'm going to mention right now. The first one is Lucas Bergvall. At the beginning of the season when he came in, he was meant to be a bit part player. He was meant to play in the early stages of the Europa League to give him European experience. He was meant to be on the bench a lot to play most of our games. But because of all the injuries, he's had to been playing. He's been in the first 11 for quite a long time now. When he first started with us, I feel like he was giving the ball away, making silly mistakes and getting silly yellow cards. But that's obviously, you know, he's a young player. You expect that. So, but the emergence of him in the last 2 months especially has been insane. He is probably now one of our best midfielders. He's 19 years old. He's good on the ball, strong in the tackle. You know, he can turn players inside out. He already looks like a class act, and he's going to be some player when he's older. Another player that's started to shine for me is Archie Gray, another guy that was supposed to be brought in. I feel like he was probably going to get more of a chance than Bergvall because of his experience in the Championship with Leeds. But he has done a sublime job for us, covering in positions that, you know, some of the positions he's never played before. Left centre-back, right centre-back, left-back, right-back. He's done a job for us, and he's done it amicably, in my opinion. You know, he's not been outstanding, he's not been brilliant, but what he has been is assured. He's good on the ball, he's strong in the tackle, he's probably a bit weaker in the air, but he's not a centre-back, and when he's fighting against these strikers that go against top defenders week in, week out, you know, he's done a good job for us. And he's also got the Young Player of the Year award in London, so for London team. So he's had a fantastic breakout season, really. And you know, and that's because of the injuries. So blessing in disguise that we got Bergvall and Gray. And the third guy I want to talk about is Mikey Moore. He's got some European experience now, and in one of the games he played, I can't remember what team it was now. I think we won 3-0 in the end. Not the game where he scored the goal, and that was a brilliant goal, by the way. The game where he was just rinsing that defence. Let me know in the comments what team it was against. I can't remember off the top of my head. Where he was running through 3 or 4 players and then putting the ball through to Werner on the plate, and Werner kept missing. I think Moore would have had about 3 or 4 assists this season if Werner could finish his dinner. But the emergence of Moore this season has been very, very good. I think he got an assist on the international break as well. So he's got some experience under his belt now, and he's only going to get stronger for it. So these 3 young players that have come in, it's only going to bode well now for the future. Another positive thing that we can take from this season so far is the breakout season of Jed Spence. Now, Jed Spence kept going out on loan. Conte didn't want nothing to do with him. Managers even saying on loan that he's got the wrong attitude. Conte said he had the wrong attitude. Even Ange at the beginning of the season, I feel that didn't think that Spence had the right attitude to be playing, and I think that's why he didn't put Spence in the team at first. He said to us from the beginning, he knows Spence there's a player in there, he said, but he needs to sort out his mentality. He sorted out his mentality, and now I think Spence is one of our best players. He has been putting in man of the match performances week in, week out, even during our injury crisis. So it was basically like a new signing for us. He's come in, he can cover left back. He can cover left back just as good as he can cover right back. So he's very versatile as well. He even played centre back this season and played very, very well in my opinion. So the emergence of Spence is another positive to come out of this season. Another positive to come out this season, in my opinion, is the signings of Danso and Kinksky. Now, Danso is for me is an upgrade on Dragushin. He's fast, he's strong in the tackle, he's good on the ball, he's very dominant in the air, and he's he's made a very good start. He's just slotted in straight away for Spurs, and he's given us that extra option at centre back now, so we can rotate, especially with injury-prone players like Romero and Van der Ven. And the other signing I want to talk about is Kinksky. When he came in, he was a breath of fresh air on the ball, passing. He's really good with his feet. And made some very, very good saves. He was a very important part of us getting through into the Europa League's quarterfinals, by the way, and getting us to the semi-finals of the Cup, because we didn't have Vicario. Vicario was injured, so he stepped up and done very well. Yes, he made some mistakes. He's 21 years old, but he has got some potential going forward, and that's another bonus for next season. Two good goalkeepers to go into next season. So after so much going against the team with all these injuries, the players are still 100% behind Ange, which is another positive we can take. We're going through this really big rough patch at the moment, but the players are still behind Ange. That just tells me that they believe in what he's saying, they believe in his training methods, they believe in his tactics, they believe in the style of play, and that only bodes well. If he stays on for next season, it only bodes well for next season. If we have a lot more luck with injuries, sign a couple of more quality players, we could have a really good season next season. We can still have a really good season this season, I'm telling you now. And the final positive we can take from this season so far is we're in the quarter-final against Frankfurt. Now, there are some fans saying that we're going to lose this game and we're already out. I hate that mentality. It's Frankfurt. Frankfurt are not unbeatable. They are a very, very good side. They will give us a very, very good game. But if we're on top of our game, we can beat Frankfurt. We're literally 2 games away from a semi-final in a European competition. This is a massive trophy. For me, the level of trophy goes League Cup, FA Cup, Europa League and Champions League, if you're going to win trophies. So it's a big major competition if we can win this. And I believe the boys, if Romero and Van der Ven stay fit and Solanke stays fit and, the whole squad stays fit, basically, there's no reason why we can't beat Frankfurt and go through to the semi-final. We would be then 3 games away from lifting that trophy. Can you imagine? We waited 16 years for a trophy and we ended up winning the Europa League, one of the biggest trophies you can win. So maybe it would be worth the wait. This looks like one of our worst seasons ever. If we won the Europa League, this is probably one of our best seasons in 40 years. That's how fine a line and crazy this season's been so far. Let's hope we get a lot more luck with injuries, and this season can still be great. If we ended up winning the Europa League, we'll be in the Champions League next season. And if we can get our players keep our players fit next season, get these young players getting even more experience, bring in a bit more experience as well. Get out the door people like Werner, Richarlison, and people like that. The ones that, Richarlison's injury prone. Werner has got no confidence. We need to strengthen this squad so all 25 players can come in at any time during an injury crisis or during suspensions or whenever we need them, so we can play in 4 competitions and play strong every single week and not have that drop off that we do when we do get injuries. So that's my take on this season so far, the positives. I know there's a lot of negatives, but that's been said a billion times already, and I just wanted to do something a little bit different. If you feel like this season's a whitewash and you don't like the season, and that's fair enough, you're allowed to have your own opinion. But I just wanted to talk about this today, just to put a little bit of brightness into the Spurs community for a little bit. Thank you for watching again, and come on you Spurs!